Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel and peace be upon all of you guys. Today's video is different compared to what I usually upload. I do want to address this topic, which you will see in the title, as to 5 reasons which can be seen as beneficial for those who want to take fragrances as a hobby, and also at the end I want to add 2 disadvantages to this art. So without further ado, I'll go right ahead. Now, first of all, I just want to explain a little bit regarding how I started this fragrance journey. And this was last year, around April. My brother's birthday was approaching, which is in May, and I usually think about a present for him with around, let's say, a month before his actually birthday. And I usually come up with an idea pretty quickly, and over this time around it was a bit more challenging, relatively speaking. And since he bought me a fragrance 1 year prior, I was thinking to do the same. However, I didn't have any knowledge in this area. I was a complete abuna rasa, as you might say. So I started to visit some of our local retail stores with a fixed amount for the perfume in my head, and I didn't know about designers or niche, or I somewhat heard maybe vaguely about Arabic clones or inspired buys. And going in some of these stores with the fixed amount which I have in my head, I started to try some of them, and like I said, I didn't have any experience. So as someone who is new to this fragrance world, there's a possibility that you'll get overwhelmed pretty quickly. So many options to choose from. However, mainly in the beginning, the issue was related to the price, because whenever I saw the price which I wanted to pay for perfume, it was either a 30 ml bottle or an aftershave or a deodorant. So I almost gave up. The prices were quite high in a retail store since I didn't have the experience. However, luckily, I managed to find a physical discounter which had much more reasonable prices. And at the end, I decided to go with Hugo Boss Man, since even though I didn't have the experience, the smells have really popped for me. It has this kind of a fougere style, pretty crisp smelling with the apple and the woods. So I went up with that one, and it was at a reasonable price, 125 milliliters bottle, which is about the average 100 ml standard. And I went with that. However, in the meantime, I also discovered the Versace Eros lineup, and was thinking of getting one for me too, and that ended up being the Versace Eros Flame, which was my first fragrance. It wasn't the first which I started wearing, because I kept it on the side for a special occasion. However, this is basically how I started my fragrance journey, and somewhere maybe a couple months ago, I was seriously thinking of opening a YouTube channel, which I finally did, thank God, with my first impressions on Assad Elixir. This was pretty much it, my story hiding how I got into fragrances. Now I want to present to you today 5 reasons for why you might pick up this hobby, and these are as follows. Number 1. Now, fragrances have a positive effect on one's overall vibe, since smell is an essential sense that influences our mood. Now, as per a paper from NIH, the National Library of Medicine, we have this information. So, the aroma components from natural products have been used for spiritual and physical healing since the beginning of recorded history. In aromatherapy, fragrance substances, aroma, odor, scents from various natural sources have been used for treatment for various disorders. The aromatherapy treatment is a natural way of healing a person's mind, body, and soul, as they would say. Many ancient civilizations, including Egypt, China, and India, have used aromatherapy as a popular complementary and alternative therapy for more than thousands of years in traditional medicine, as well as in in aromatherapy and herbal medicine. Essential oils and fragrance compounds have been used for the treatments for various psychological and physical disorders such as headaches, pain, insomnia, eczema, not sure if I pronounced that correctly, stress-related anxiety, depression, and digestive problems. In recent years, various studies have revealed that olfactory stimulation through fragrance inhalation exerts various psychological effects on human beings. There are various methods available to administer the fragrance in small quantities, including inhalation, massage, or simple application on the skin surface, and sometimes can be taken internally. I will leave a link in the description. Now, the second reason, after physical effects that the substances containing perfumes on us, we can look at the effect that it can make us look forward for the future. Since if we have more than one fragrance, it can make us feel excited for the frag. It can make us excited for tomorrow and what we will wear next, considering the overall feeling that particular frag gives us might make us look at the future more positively with optimism. Now, the third reason, we could also use perfumery as a substitute for things which we use our money for that could be downright detrimental to us and our health. For example, as per a study from the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, states that in 2023, households in the United States spent an average of $294 on alcoholic beverages consumed at home and $343 on alcoholic beverages consumed away from home. So around $637 per year. I will link into the description so you can check more information. Another example would be smoking. The cheapest pack of cigarettes can be bought in the state of Virginia for around $5.25 per pack. And assuming that the smoker smokes a pack a day, that could be around $1,916.25 per month. I'll link that to the description too. Also, a report from 2019, which was actually part of a poll by Moonstruck Chocolate, found that the average weekly expenses for snack foods were around $9.32, which makes it around $479.44 per year. And of course, there are other expenses that could be reduced or eliminated, but if we add just these three, we have around $3,032.44 that could be used, a part of it or entirely, towards fragrances, since perfumes don't make you fat, as far as I know. They don't make you drunk, nor would they give you diabetes like sweets can, as far as I know. Now, of course, there was a study I heard years ago about these kinds of room dispersers or room perfumes that might give you diabetes. Not 100% sure about that one. However, I'm discussing about fragrances themselves, not those kinds of perfumes, cool perfumes, or however you like to call them. Now, the fourth reason could help us actually make friends, acquaintances, since we might be inclined to have a common subject of discussion as vast and as complex as perfumery. So in other words, there's a social benefit that may result from this hobby, since it does make it more interesting to have someone you can discuss with, share your experiences, your information you gathered over time. You get to find out about more perfumes or interesting nuggets regarding the perfumery world. And now the last one, the fifth reason, it can also help build your self-confidence due to the fact that perfumery also can have an effect on people in so much as personal self-care is concerned, hygiene, attire, and overall aesthetics, since it may make you more self-aware, since smell is an essential sense that could be picked up by others. Now, this reason is more for the individual himself and not in which would make us behave behave in such a way as to always consider how other people think of us. Now, this would be the first disadvantage of perfumery, and this could be seen as the reverse, the third positive reason, and that is linked to overspending. We shouldn't let the world of perfumery turn us into addicts, since it will not only ruin the whole experience itself, but also make us go into debt, which has harmful effects in our day-to-day lives. We can just allocate a sensible amount of greens per month so as not to create any further problems. That's why clones, dupes, inspired buys can help us here. For example, Acid from Latafa, the OG. On Amazon, you can find it at around $20.99. Whereas one bottle of Sauvage Elixir, so the original 100 milliliters, gets you $225.25.
Oh my god! Wow!
Which is pretty enormous, and these amounts are like this as per the recording of this video. And the second disadvantage is as follows. The second disadvantage to the perfumer world is the well-known compliment motif that turns many people into societal slaves. In my humble opinion, this is one of the most negative aspects of perfumery, since it affects so many aspects regarding the individual. It makes one surrender his own opinions, makes one buy a fragrance that he may not afford, or maybe has one similar and wasn't looking to get another the same. It makes one imitate others from their group. One may use perfumes only to attract the attention of others instead of relying on their own personalities and qualities. It could make one addicted to online trends instead of enjoying fragrance in general, and so on and so forth. Perfumery should be an individual journey as far as spending money on bottles themselves, not to be confused with the fourth benefit, where you share your experience and knowledge of fragrance with other people. Now, in conclusion, the wonderful world of perfumery is one of positivity, of optimism, of calmness, that can enhance one's life through its olfactory delights, as long as it is done in a moderate, modest, patient manner and tries to use it as a life enhancer, not an obsession of a reason to squander one's finances. And this was it, guys. I do hope that this video was useful for you guys. Hopefully we'll get to have maybe more discussions, more in-depth discussions about perfumes, not just individual reviews. I do want to thank you for watching my video today, and I do wish you an awesome day, guys. Goodbye.